Talking and back for another video. This time I'll be doing a review on the character named Nelja. This character was released on the Valhalla Assault number 4, and I didn't have the time to do a review back then, and I'll do this now. But a good information is that I digged in a lot of the mechanics about this character, so I have all the values that the game doesn't show you, and I'll show you guys just in some minutes. Well, first of all, Nelja is a sorcerer. She uses staffs, and she's from the Holy element. She's very similar to Kashima. If you look at Kashima, Kashima has the same attack as Cross, Raid, and Sacred Javelin, and Nelja has the same attacks. And I click here, same attacks. And now I have the better information to show you guys, and this is the information that you may want to understand if the character is good or not. Well, first of all, Nelja is not a unique character. She uses a generic type of magic. Sacred Javelin and Cross Raid are a generic type of magic. It's not like Norn. Norn has different type of attacks. She just attacks but uses staff. It's different. But Nelja case, she uses magic and generic magic from the Valhalla profile, Valkyrie profile games. And all other stuff that we need to check is that she only has 2 attacks because she was released in Japan in the 4th month of the game, and back then she didn't have a lot of gacha characters to compare to, and most staff users with 3 attacks are from gacha. Besides Norn. Norn was released on the 1st month of the Japanese version, but Norn is different. Like I said, she doesn't use generic magic. But by that time, even Mistina had only 2 attacks. So this kind of makes her weak when you consider her multipliers. The first attack has a 3.75 multiplier in 1 hit, and the second attack has 3.2 multiplier with 4 hits. So she barely reaches 7 multiplier as she kinda can cross it, and her purification attack has a 5 times multiplier in 1 hit. And well, when we compare this stuff to new characters in the game, you just can't compare because most characters have at least 8 times multiplier and 3 attacks. And it's very problematic to use a sorcerer with only 2 attacks, because if you're trying to nuke some bosses and you have a staff with 3 action skills, you won't be able to unleash all 3 attacks because, well, Nelja only has 2. And it doesn't seem to be, it's not worth to give her more attacks because she is only usable when you're really in a need of a holy type sorcerer in the game. And you also using a mage staff with only 2 attacks, like the Shuruk version. Okay, so don't really get more attacks with this character because she is not that high on status, on multipliers, on anything. Also talking about status, her status are not that high, and she has the story version on the potential force. We can click here and see. Well, gacha characters have magic plus 40 here. It's a little higher. It's 20% more status for gacha characters on potential force when compared to story characters. And well, let's just talk about the number of hits. She has 5 hits, and I took a screenshot here that shows that that's how much bar she can fuse with the 2 attacks, and you can check here it's not that high compared with characters like Norn, but it's very standard for mage characters in the game. Okay, so now the most important stuff, I also mined this information here. I tested those that doesn't have values, and some I got from the Japanese spreadsheet version that is available on Discord and Reddit. Well, first of all, Active Reinforce already has information, and you can check here. It's up to 15% increase on damage dealt by action skills. It's actually very nice, but like I said, she can only cast 2 times a magic because she only has 2 attacks. And the second one is called Focus. Focus is very standard for most characters. They came from story, and it's good and bad because the good thing is that it can reach up to 100% increase. It doubles your mag, but it takes quite a lot of time to do this. It would take you 11 turns for doing this, and even if you have the number 5 level on Focus, it will take quite a lot of time. So Nelja will work when you need some battles that will take quite a lot of time, but still I don't really recommend her because, like I said, not main status, and she won't have that much defense to take 10 turns on just to unleash her attacks. It's not feasible. And the last one is called Fearful Burst, and increases the damage dealt by normal attacks occasionally. But I had to test this stuff here, and it shows that its 5% chance is very, very low by a character that has only 2 attacks. You have like 10% chance to inflict at least 1 per turn, but it's only 30% increase on damage. And talking on level 5 skill, but it's just unnecessary. It's something that it's not worth to just hope that your character will do a little more damage when 5% chance. I don't think this is worth. Her limited skill is called Element Surge, and for 2 turns it slightly improves the critical hit of her user or holy attacks. All of her attacks are holy, it doesn't matter. But I don't think this is very high because it says slight improve. A slight improve is something like 5% or 10%, I'm pretty sure of this. So it also has a 4 turn cooldown, but it only uses for 2 turns. She has a unique orb, but her unique orb is still not released because the Valhalla Assault characters will only get their orbs later in the future. But it's 14% increase on Meg and Holly. It's not that bad because characters like Aimo and probably Killing as well can raise up to 30% Meg, but it takes 3 turns. But she's very tied to the Holy Elemental because it's increased Holy and Mag, so just use her when you're using a Holy Staff. Also, she has a part skill called Holy Dance. Holy Dance is increased to Holy damage, and well, the dances are something like a future, what can I say, not mid or low-term investment. It's a end-term investment because the first and most important skill that you can get for party skill are Clever, Easygoing, and Omni. But then when you finish with these 3, you have to start working on Holy, Fire, Ice, and Dark dances because it will increase your damage with elementals. Okay, so that's not bad, but it's not early or mid-term investment. She doesn't have party assist because she's a character released way before Mercurius. Mercurius was the character that introduced this mechanic. So that's it. Well, guys, I don't think this character is very strong for today's standards, but there's a reason for this because she was released on the 4th month and the Japanese release. We can use her orb skill yet, and that makes her even worse when compared to gacha characters or even the free characters that we get in this game. Amelia is just so superior to this character that there's really no reason to use her unless you really need the holy damage and the resistance. The boss is resistant to physical damage and also resistant to other elements. So you really need a mage of the holy element for it to work. There's this current event, there is a boss that is kind of like this, so this was the only reason for me to use Nelja on this time. Okay, thanks for watching the video so far. Please subscribe and give a like on the comments here, because I really need to get 1000 subscribers. I'm trying to improve my content, and if I can't, I won't be able to keep making videos, okay? Thanks, and we'll see each other on the next video. Bye!